Oh, wow. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to our 2025 AGM. And we are absolutely thrilled to have over 40 people attending. We're going to be voting in the chat room. And if you have any questions, please put that also in the chat room because it's just difficult to unmute and put everybody's video on at the same time. There will be a Q&A session after every presentation. And if you miss any questions in the chat, please just post them again because sometimes there can be quite a bit. And now I'm going to introduce the first video that we're going to show you is the Tankwa video. This is a beautiful short film that showcases the wonderful work done by the Cart Horse Protection Association outreach program in the harsh landscape of the Tankwa Karoo, South Africa. The program is facilitated by the amazing people at Africa Burn Outreach who commit to the community of the Tankwa is truly gifted. The Kadikis Mensi, as they're called, are solely dependent on their carts and donkeys for transport, so keeping them healthy and their bridles and harnesses in good condition is very important. So sit back and enjoy, and I have to say you might need a tissue for this one.
As jy een keer in die Tankwa gebly het, dit sit in jou vas, jy kan nie daarvan ontslaa. Die ooptes, die kaaltes, die diere. Is net iets in jou wat jy wil bly. Ek het groot geraak met op Oliverskraal in 2 jare. Die meeste gesinne het karretjies gehad. Alles was op die karretjie, hulle het gery, gestop, onder die karretjie gebly. Daar was mense wat altyd huis gehad het, maar het gewerk van plaas tot plaas. Jy kry nog vandag baie wat mense gebruik op 'n daaglikse basis vir vervoer, lande bewerk. Dis iets wat ons ken, dis eie aan die Tankwa.
Dit was maar ons voertuie. Dat is maar baie lief geword vir ons diere en so aan. En dit is nog baie plekke waar baie van die mense hom nog gebruik en jy kan nie bekostig om vervoer te hê.
2014 het Africa Burn Katos toe gekom. Hulle doen 'n burn in Tankwa en hulle het gesien dat daar nood is vir die donkies want die afstande wat die mense met daai donkies ry en die hitte wat die donkies moet deurmaak, die materiaal wat die mense tot hulle beskikking het, die voer wat daar is nie. Die nood is verskriklik groot geweest en hulle het ons toe genadig vir ons gevra of ons dalk wil betrokke raak en daar het 'n baie wonderlike vennootskap begin tussen Katos en dan Africa Burn.
In die Kaap, hierdie manne die perdekarretjie of die donkiekar om vir hom income te generate. Maar hy is heel anders. Hy is deel van die familie. Die kinders op die karretjie, die vrouens op die karretjie, almal hulle doen alles bo op die karretjie. Die mense, hulle gee om vir hulle diere, maar hulle het net nie daai hulp en daai kennis sodat die dier gesond en na sy welsyn gekyk word.
So die diens wat Katos dan gee is, ons gee hoesmedienste, verjaardienste. En dan gee ons natuurlik ook die normale inentings en ontwurming, stalbesoeke en ook natuurlik as jou perd siek is. Dan bel jy vir ons en ons help jou. En dit is gratis. Ons vra net een ding, moenie jou perd mishandel nie.
Van die grootste goed wat uitgestaan het was wonde. Hulle het baie wonde gehad. Ek is 'n hoefsmid, ek het gesien dat die area waar die donkies en die perde hardloop, is gravelgrond en die hoewe adapt. So toe sien ons dat daar nie 'n nood vir die hoewe nie, maar wel vir die tuig.
There's rough parts, can wrap the donkey, horse, harness, wounds. So we're gonna put this piece of soft sponge underneath.
Ons het nie elke keer 'n pleister opgeplak, ons het nie elke keer die tuig reggemaak. Maar daar's baie opvoeding, daar's baie wat bydra wat die lewe van die donkie kan verlig.
Welkom vir die donkie karretjie workshop.
Ons het vir al die tyd wat ons gekom het en ons self die wonde getree het, ons het self die tuig reggemaak, maar omdat ons per jaar kom en intussen tyd dan skaaf die donkies af of die donkies werk met toog of daar's draad aan die tuig en dis al goed wat veroorsaak dat daar wonde is. Toe het ons nou hierdie keer toe dink ons as ons die manne van die Karoo kan opleiding gee. Sodoende kan die donkie en die perdekarretjies kan daaruit baat vind.
'n Donkie sê hulle is hoogs intelligent, meer intelligent as 'n perd. Want as jy 'n perd nou skrik maak, daar gloop hy. Maar 'n donkie sal eers kyk, is dit gevaar of is dit nie gevaar nie? Hy som 'n situasie baie mooi op. Ons is eintlik vandag hierso om die manne 'n bietjie te leer van liefde vir diere, dat diere ook 'n gevoel het soos ons as mense.
Donkies en perde praat met hulle lyftaal. Hulle kan nie vir ons sê wanneer ietsie lekker is of hoe hulle voel nie, so hulle praat met hulle lyftaal. En hier bewys die jong seun, hy bewys hom liefde. Jy kan sien.
Die donkie kan met sy lyftaal praat, maar ons leer om te kan identifiseer. Wanneer die donkie seer is, wanneer die donkie pyn het, en dat jy dit kan verbeter as jy dan die kennis sou hê.
Hoe voel hy donkie dan?
Ek kry baie swaar nou deurgaan.
Hy kry baie swaar. Jy kan sien donkie, hy lê vorentoe. Sy ore wys ook jou nee, hy konsentreer nou. Sien jy? Dit wys jou daar's 'n ernstigheid by hom.
Baie mense werk met diere, maar hulle werk nie reg met diere nie. Daai kennis wat baie waardevol is en dis wat kado's terugsit. Dis goed wat mense moet weet.
Dan ook natuurlik die harnas, die tuig, wat dan so die probleem veroorsaak, wat die wonde veroorsaak, wat die donkie natuurlik pyn veroorsaak.
Ek sal verstaan as 'n man nou net een stel tuig het en hy het net die twee donkies en dit pas 100%, maar as die man nou nog 'n donkie kry, moet hy seker maak is verstelbaar.
Ons gaan hulle leer hoe om die donkie reg in te span en hoe ook om nou die tuig reg te herstel. Nie met drade, met toue, sulke goeters nie.
En ook vir hulle terselfdertyd die regte gereedskap gee, selfde met die materiaal gee, en hulle het nou die opleiding, dan kan hulle self deur die jaar, hulle self hulle eie tuig of ander se tuig dalk regmaak wat stukkend of gebreek het. En sodoende kan hulle nou daai kennis vat, en dan kan hulle die volgende generasie dan 'n toekoms opbou saam met die perdekarretjies. Wat ons ook opgelet het, omdat die hitte is verskriklik in die Karoo, dan is leer nie geskik vir die weerie, want die leer, hy raak droog, hy raak hard en hy breek. Wat dink julle, maar sal hy nie die donkie seermaak as hy so hard biltong geraak het nie? As hy hard is, dan maak dit ook wonde. Tot ons met PVC tuig gemaak, dis die materie wat meer geskik en langer hou hier in die Karoo vir die donkiekarre en vir die perde. Eerste steek sal wees, heel voorbegin, maak ons eerste gat, asy, nou trek jy hom deur, tot jou garing 10 is, asy, jy verstaan, jy sien ek lus vir die stietsery, né, dons.
Ek het gehoor van die donkiewerkwinkel wat aangebied word. Op die oomblik het ons donkies. En ek het al baie gesien mense ry donkies en ek wil ook baie graag leer.
Ek sien Donsie, hy's 'n nuweling en hy ken glad nie van diere nie, maar ek het ook gesien hy sy liefde het gekom seker, hy sien die mense ry en hy het die gevoel gekry. En ek sien wat hy nou doen met dit wat hy geleer het. As lyk dit vir my sal Donsie baie vinnig aanpas, want ek sien hy's baie gewillig.
Ek is hier om my tye reg te maak, dat my donkie meer gemaklik daarin kan wees. As hy gemaklik is ek gemaklik.
Dit is 'n tuig wat ons 'n paar jaar terug gemaak het, maar hy het nou al gewerk, so hy het al oor die jare het hy gebreek.
Ons moet hom restaureer, en soos hier by die Gesper, daar is draadjies om, daar moet hy nou leer omkry en ons sal kyk dat hy nie knope in het nie, dat hy nie die donkie seer maak nie en donkie kan gemaklik wees in sy tuig.
Die manne het nou die skills om die stikkende plekke dat waar hy gebreek het, dan kan hulle dit net weer in hulle eie vrye tyd regmaak.
As ek nou miskien op my pensioen daar is, dan is dit dan ook iets wat ek nou weer kan byvat om van ons ander medemense te help om hulle tye en goed reg te maak en te wys ook man, jy kan weer so maak vir die jonger manne.
Wat oom Jan nou gedoen het, oom Jan het 'n stuk leer gevat, draad afgesny, leer omgesit en oom Jan het hom nou so gewerk.
My storie het begin al van kleins af sal ek sê met donkies. My pa, my oupa het gehad en aan die einde van die dag toe ek begin werk, toe neem ek het oor na sy sterfte. Ek is baie lief vir hulle en my gevoel vir hulle wil ek ook nie graag hê hulle moet uitsterf en seer kry of so. Dit is nou die borsplaat voor wat om sy bors kom waaraan hy trek. Ja, as hy so hang, dan maak jou teeg skuins, dan skaaf hy jou donkie op sy blad. So ons gaan hom mooi maak. Kom nou 'n teekie van pastel af met die kados mense. Maar dit wat vandag hier gebeur, of die 2 dae, is vir my 'n groot inspirasie. So ek het by hulle nou meer geleer.
En voorheen was dit eenvoudige tou wat om was. So basies gesper ingesit, soos die nuwe strep opgesit, 'n nuwe regsaaltjie het ons ook opgesit.
Ons het die nuwe veld opgesit en dan die gespertjies en dan die nuwe kappies opgewerk.
Die gedeelte wat ek hier in my hand het, verstaan ek om sy boude. En toe ek die leier gevat, toe ek hom nou mooi opgewerk, sodat hy nie die donkies sal seermaak nie.
Die tuig het ons nou reg, so ons gaan nou die donkies haal. Dan gaan ons nou die tome opsit. Dan gaan ons hulle bring, dan tuig ons hulle op. Ons hulle in die karretjie insit en aan dieselfde tyd gaan ons ook vir Donsie wys die metodes wat hy moet gebruik en hoe hy moet hulle optuig. Jan is saam, Jan het baie lang jare ervaring. So Jan gaan ook vir ons reg help dat ons die donkies lekker in die kar sit, dat hulle gemaklik is. Met alles wat hulle nou niet geleer het, dan pas ons dit net toe dat alles op datum is. Sy lei hom so, ja. Kom mama, altyd praat en hulle verstaan nou altyd vir ons.
Ons gaan nou vanmiddag vir hom wys hoe jy gaan jou harnasse op die diere sit en mooi kyk hoe hulle gegesper word, dat hulle perfek sit. Jou oor, maar jy staan altyd hierdie kant van die
Kom om, ek gaan hom vashou, kom jy om.
En as jy hom vas hom altyd aan sy een kant en dan gaan ons vir hom op die kar sit en vir hom so 'n draaitjie ry laat hy kan voel hoe word 'n donkiekar bestuur.
Hoe meer jy dit doen, hoe beter gaan jy word.
Vandag gaan dit my eerste keer wees as ons die donkies inspan om die karretjie in te wys. So ek is baie opgewonde, glo my donkies ook. Hulle is seker net so opgewonde soos ek.
Sy, vat hom om Jan. Nee, hulle trek. Nie maar hulle ken van trek, man. Jy kan maar sien, hulle ken van trek. Ja. Hulle lolly.
Diana sal nou 'n bietjie praat. So I hand over to Diana.
Baie dankie dat jy dit moontlik gemaak het, dat ons hier kon kom om ons Ashley se kennis met die manne te deel. Hulle is die uitsoek van hierdie area. Baie dankie.
Vir jou bywoning. Toe jy begin te stitch, het jy baie goed gedoen en jy kan net van krag tot krag gaan, hoor. Dankie. Wat hier vir jou, hoor. Daar sê. So anders ons wil vir jou sê baie dankie dat jy die opleiding bygewoon het en ons seker jy kan dit ook net verder vat. Alias Donsie. Die man wat die minste kennis gehad het toe hy op die kursus kom.
Aan ons opvoeders, ek dankbaar, ek weet, my mede-kollegas is ook dankbaar, dat ek een van my drome bewaar het. So die kaarte kan wees.
Dan wil ons niemand anders as Jan se misroepie. Dis 'n man wat verskriklike baie kennis het omtrent die donkies en die inspan en die uitspan. So ons waardeer vir hom Jan regtig waar. So moenie laat daai tradisie sterf in die Tankwa nie.
Die Tankwa, die dierbare Tankwa. Wil jy sout van die aarde kom sien? Kom Tankwa toe. Want ek leer elke keer as ek hier kom van hoe dankbaar 'n mens moet wees.
Voor die wat nog nie gewees het hier of net kom en gaan, is dit maar 'n bietjie 'n harde plek. Daar is baie mense al gekom wat dit nie kan weerstaan nie. Dan moet jy maar weer gaan, maar vir ons as nou die Tankwa siete, vir ons is dit goed. Ons is baie lief vir die plek.
Oh my goodness, I've seen that video 4 times now. And sorry, it just, it's just such a wonderful, wonderful thing that we've done there. And sorry, I'm a bit speechless. It's just incredible. Hope you enjoyed that as much as we enjoyed being there as well. Next up, folks, I would like to welcome our chairperson, Paul Slaleli. We will be doing the acceptance of our previous AGM minutes, chairperson's address, and election of our committee. Over to you, Paul.
Good evening. Thank you, Karen, for the introduction, and hello, everyone. I don't know if you can hear it, but I'm sitting in the south of France and there's cicadas going wild outside. It's way too hot for me to close the window. So if it does annoy anybody, please put it in the chat. But it's the beautiful sound of the south of France, which also just means that biodiversity is still strong. Welcome, 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 everyone. I wasn't crying through that. It was the sweat, I promise. What a beautiful moment to see the certificate being handed to this young person who you can already imagine is going to be our next generation of horse carers, right? This is what we hope for. This is definitely not about me, so I'm going to speed through all the formalities that we have to. It's always incredible to start off at the AGM with the lovely interactions that Karen and Megan have with all of you wonderful donors online. I did want to sit in the back a bit and just listen. You don't get it in very many AGMs. So again, I'm always so happy to hear of these lovely words from everybody and when people first started interacting with Cartwell. So thank you again for being here. I will kick off with the very formal things that we have to do, and then certainly we'll crack on to some of the other good stuff. So I am going to start off with just confirming that we have received apologies tonight from Barbara Wilson, Dawn King, Clifford Webb, Mike Bosaza, and June Good. And as it stands, we have no proxies. And then we do have to accept the minutes from the previous annual general meeting last year. These would have been circulated in advance, and I trust that everyone has had a chance to review them. So I will just ask that someone in the chat just proposes the adoption of the minutes, and then I would need somebody else to second the proposal of the minutes. And we shall wait for somebody to be brave enough to put that in the chat. Thank you, Penny, for proposing, and Tammy, happy to second. Thank you so much. And we know that that is done. And we can note that the minutes are hereby accepted. So now they tell me I got to say something. And again, I'll reiterate, it's nothing to do with me. It has to do with all these wonderful people that we will hear from this evening. I've been chairperson, I want to say 7 years. I hope my maths is correct. Certainly, many things have changed, including how tight my cartwheel's top is getting, but that's okay, they tell me. And what a year it's been, right? It's been for all of us in all different corners of the world. We always start with a bit of a global perspective, right? Zoom out a little bit of our little corners. We've seen the US administration have some significant impacts on everything when it comes to trade. And certainly we saw these huge international aid cuts, which definitely had a massive effect on very hard working and well-deserving NGOs. It's been devastating, I think, to see the wars that have come on, that continue to go, to see communities absolutely being frustrated and torn to bits and losing all their rights. And it does increase the pressure on organizations that are trying to help. Zooming in a little bit to our world, South Africa, I believe this year, earlier this year, social development did start to scrutinize NGOs quite deeply. scrutinize all NGO practices. It happened in Europe, is happening in Europe as well. And this can affect, again, thousands of organizations that are simply there, right, to help communities, that are simply there to create a civil space that is active and that protects so many. So what does this mean to us? We are not in the firing line as it was right now, but it certainly means we have to constantly keep our governance as clear and strict as it is. We constantly have to report as well as we should, and we do, and certainly keeping compliance at the heart of what we do. Because it all also leads to not only being able to provide the services we need, but certainly being able to maintain your support, maintain the funder support. If we're working well, you're going to be working well next to us. These proceedings are way too short for me to ever name every single incredible thing that Carthorse has been able to do this year. And we'll see some of those great achievements this evening. I think the only one I wanted to mention, if you'll allow me, and just to give some kudos to our fundraising team and our donor team and our donor management team, our application to the national lotteries and its success. Now, for those not in fundraising, you have to understand that such funders do put us through huge hurdles and loops, paperwork, dotting the I's, crossing the T's, which only they should. But therefore, when we do win it and we do get awarded a significant grant, not just financial, does this boost us? It kind of gives us that little vote of confidence, right? It says what we already know is that Carthorse is needed, that it's an organization doing what it has to for the community, that our systems are sound, and certainly that we are being trusted with the capacity to carry on. It's a big job to try to get these successful awards, and it cannot be taken lightly. That to get the one yes, our team has had to go through many no's. So again, kudos to the ladies and the team involved in that. I think putting into perspective, like all that's happening and that's challenging, all we can do in these moments where we gather is just to thank everybody that's here, right? Really from the heart, really from the heart. You know, not only our donors, the volunteers that are there who just give without even thinking twice. All of the supporters we have, and every single community that engages with us, from up to Tangwa to Lesotho to everywhere. And I love to use this whole, like, they walk and they trot and they canter beside us, but you really do, right? You really, really support what we're doing and what the team is doing. So thank you. I guess we'll be saying lots of thank yous this evening, but definitely thank you for standing next to us when everything feels extremely uncertain and we don't know what tomorrow brings. And whether it's aid cuts, economic crisis, or war, we're not all given, it's not a given, a guarantee tomorrow. So your support means we can hold on to something tomorrow and we will be there. So thank you for making that possible. I want to switch, and I hope it's not too abrupt, but to the year that also brought us some very sad news and events. In July last year, we had to say goodbye to Joyce Beaton, who was a long time member of the organization, on the management committee. And for those who remember her, and I cannot say I had the pleasure to ever meet her, but her presence was definitely what I've understood woven into how this organization worked. She created, I hope I've got this right, the English breakfast and those collections. And I believe she had great heart and great humor to go along with this. Sadly, this year, we also lost at the early onset of the year. We did lose one of our former inspectors and welfare practitioners, Melanie Lind-Oss, who again brought nothing but warmth and professionalism to all she could do. And her passing was a shock, and I'm getting a little emotional because she was young and she leaves behind a family that we will continue to hold close in our thoughts. So people like Joyce and Melanie remind us of something extremely powerful. It's the people that make Carthorse what it is. It's you all out there that make Carthorse what it is today. And then to move straight into, because this is life, the good and the joy is the current team and the people we have that show up every single day. Every single rainstorm, sunshine, hailstorm, cold or warm, you are there. That's the Cart Horse team is there. The caliber of the individuals in this team continues to astound me, because animal welfare work is not easy. I had 8 years of it, most of it right next door to Cart Horse. It requires a daily decision to give all you have, to care harder, to work harder, to push through things you never thought you could push through. Everything feeling much bigger than us, because you have to for the animals, right? You have to for the horses every single day. So again, to each member of the team that we have today, I see you, the committee sees you, we value you, and we thank you over and over again. I'm going to slowly wrap up because I don't want to make this about me and my emotions. Penny, of course, who you all know, running, and we'll be hearing from her shortly, running Cart Horse to her best and beyond ability. She continues to guide, to support the team with clarity, with compassion, and with a firm hand that's always needed. And so again, from the management committee and myself, we're so proud, Penny, that you carry this organization through every up and down, and you keep our mission at the center of every single one of your decisions. So to thank the management committee as well, thank you for your time, for your insight, and the ability to provide the right direction for Cart Horse where needed. You do this as volunteers, and certainly I am one of you, but I am thankful to the learnings I get from you at every time we meet. We do have some new members. I'll chat about them in a minute. Thank you for your will to serve and will to give. And we hope that you dive deep into the world that Cart Horse has to offer. And we are excited to see what you bring. So I'm wrapping this up because this is certainly way too much for me. Thank you again for everyone that's here, for everybody that's part of this. We cannot stop doing the work. Cart Horse will not stop doing the work, will not stop being a voice for all of those Cart Horses from Western Cape to wherever we're able to be. And I cannot thank you enough for everything that you do. That is me done. I promise no more emotions. Do not show me any more videos, please. I am going to, I believe, then move on to one of my final roles, which is to talk about the existing committee members. So I will need all of our existing committee members, and thank you for putting everyone's name up there. If you can please confirm in the chat that you're willing to stand for re-election for the coming year. And certainly if there's any objections to that, please can we hear from them now? I will wait until we get all of our existing committee members to say that they are with us going forward. Thank you, Alison. We find it very hard to let go of committee members, so everybody must feel the right amount of pressure to say yes, if you can do so. Fantastic. I believe we are getting there. And there we go. Thank you for your will to serve, Dr. Lauren. Is that everyone? My maths is terrible. And the names, yes, I believe we're all there. And then on to exciting. So thank you, committee members. Did I say that? Thank you for all your yeses. We have received, and we did receive, we sent out a call for new committee members this year, and we did receive quite a nice amount of applications. Oh gosh, I hope you cannot hear the children screaming outside. I promise they're all fine. 4 new applicants joined us this year, and we're so excited to welcome them. Really so excited to welcome them into the committee. And I believe we should have Kirsty Dean Mshongo, Cheryl Borchardt, Heather van Niekerk, and Sonia Deschendorf. I love all these beautiful names. Are there any objections for them to join our current committee? So I'm not sure, Karen, you'll remind me how we will get the joint yes. If there are any objections, please put it in the chat, I would say. If no objections, we take that as a yes. I'm going to guess that's the way we will proceed. I don't think I see any objections. Forever hold your peace, as they say. We are so grateful for the many talents the four will bring. We've got legal, we've got admin, we've got all sorts of incredible experts in their own field, in their own ways, and people, again, who are just there to show up. Thank you, Karen, for confirming that. One last thing from me, and then I really turn off and sit back and enjoy this incredible moment together. This is even more exciting for me. Little personal nudge in my heart. Please, can I not get emotional again? It was just, I'm just so excited to enjoy this because it was exciting to see that this happened. Last year again, Katos were able to join veterinarians, vet students. I mean, some of the things I used to do back in the days. And our very, very good friend, partner, ally, World Horse Welfare, to an outreach in Lesotho. And for those who don't know, which most of you won't know, I was born in Lesotho. It is my country of birth, and it is a small country with giant, giant hearts and giant people. Thank you, Eileen. Pardon, I did not see you were missing. Thank you, Eileen. But this was personal to see, to watch unfold, and understand again the impact we're going to be able to have in a community that doesn't get much, people that are not seen very much. You, as most of you know, Lesotho is what, 2/3 mountainous. It's just mountains, and the people that live within them, with the animals that live beside them, are incredible. So I'm really excited to introduce this video, which is going to just demonstrate again a bit of the care that our teams were able to do together. And yeah, give the people of the Mountain Kingdom a moment of attention to them to be seen. And I hope I am on time. Thank you.
Well, I've been turned round, but I've never been lost. Seen the water get troubled, but we walked across. When my knees were shaking, you held my hand, turning my problems to a promised land. Lead on, good shepherd, I'll follow all my days. There ain't nothing sweeter than to watch you make a way. You walk me through the valley, but you never see me wrong. So lead on, good shepherd, lead on. Seen some mighty deep canyons that you brought me through. Seen some mighty big mountains that just up and moved. Glory, glory, hallelujah. Yeah, that's my soul. Walking with my Father into the great unknown. Lead on, good shepherd, I'll follow all my days. There ain't nothing sweeter than to watch you make a way. You walk me through the valley, but you never see me wrong. So lead on, good shepherd, lead on. Step by step, day by day, lead me on, Lord, I pray. Road gets dark, walk by faith. Lead on, good shepherd. Step by step, day by day, lead me on, Lord, I pray. Road gets dark, walk by faith. Lead on, good shepherd. Lead on, good shepherd. I'll follow all my days. There ain't nothing sweeter than to watch you make a way. You walk me through the valley, but you never see me wrong. So lead on, good shepherd, lead on. Step by step, day by day, lead me on, Lord, I pray. Road gets dark, walk by faith.
Phenomenal, phenomenal. My little country. absolutely wonderful to see all of these. I mean, the state of some of these animals, right? We can see that they don't get this attention much. Thank you again to everybody that was involved in that. Truly incredible. And if I could just make another promo, please go visit Lesotho if you haven't already. So much to do, so much to do. But thank you, team. I will now pass on, I believe, to I will hand over to somebody who plays a huge role behind the scenes, right? Making sure all the numbers add up and keeping our budgets as clear and balanced as they should, and certainly making sure we understand the financial future that we have to keep aiming for. So I will happily hand over to our treasurer, Miss Tanya. And I want to just add that Tanya generally has some kind of farm animal with her. So please nobody be worried if a chicken pops up. All is fine. Tanya, over to you.
Thank you, Paul. But actually, if you do hear funny noises, I have an orphaned lamb with me. So it won't be a chicken, it's an orphaned lamb.
Even better,
yes.
even better. Thank you, Tanya.
So, okay. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, and thank you for attending this year's AGM. I'm reporting on the financial statements audited for this year, ending March 2025. You should have received these copies already, but for those who would like a detailed copy forwarded to you, please put your email address in the chat box and we will send it on to you. So we're going to start with the balance sheet. Cart Horse Protection Association's accumulated surplus for year ending March 2025 decreased slightly in the year by 94,000, resulting in a total of 22.8 million. The balance sheet strength has remained the same, with 23 million in total assets. Investments decreased from 16.8 million to 13.8 million. Cash and cash equivalents increased by 1.8 million, with inventory remaining at 1.1 million. Capital expenditure at the R&R continued, amounting to 1.7 million, with a resulting depreciation charge of 423,000. The total capital expenditure for the levelling off of the land at the R&R is 4 million. The next slide, please. Okay, income received increased by 2.6 million on last year to 8.7 million. And this is because we received 1.5 million from national lotteries. That's what Paul was referring to prior to the video. Other income received is 3 million, of which bequests resulted in 1.5 million. Interest and dividends received 953,000, and fair value adjustment on investments is 461,000. Operating expenses increased by 1.9 million by comparison to last year to 11.8 million. The major categories where expenses changed from last year are feed purchases increasing by 325,000 on prior year, veterinary medical increasing by 473,000, cart horse training, and this is the EWP program, increasing by 250,000, salaries increasing by 418,000, shavings increasing by 99,000, harness shop and repair and maintenance is 44,000 and 140,000 increase respectively. Whilst we endeavour to keep our expenses under control, income generation continues to present a challenge to the organisation. I know I mention this every year, but I cannot emphasise enough how important bequests have become as economic climate becomes tougher for all. Without the bequests that we received in the year, the deficit would have been greater, and we would not have been able to undertake the reconstruction of paddocks at the R&R, to which the horses have greatly benefited. I urge any donor and anyone present to please consider our bequest program and to speak to any committee member should you be interested. Giving a bequest is giving a legacy, and it also has tax benefits for the estate. In closing, the long-term viability and longevity of the organization so that we can continue to meet our mandate is of paramount importance, and therefore financial prudence continues to remain key. I would like to thank all our donors for their continued support, both financial and non-financial. To the committee, thank you for your work that you do and the hours you put in. To Penny and the staff at Carthorse, your continued and unfailing commitment to the organization does not go unnoticed. A big thank you to you all. Now, has anybody got any questions? If so, could you please put it in the chat box and we can then address that? I'm not seeing anything, but if you have got anything, we're also happy to email answers to you. Should you think of something as we go along? So I think, Karen, perhaps we can continue. And then what I'm going to do is ask for the acceptance of the financial report. So if somebody could propose and somebody could second, again, please put that in the chat box. We need somebody to please propose. Thank you. Thank you, Louise. And then we need somebody to second. Thank you, Aileen. Okay, great. Now, the next bit of business is the nomination of the auditors. And I would like to nominate Campbell & Co. to be our auditors for financial year ending March 2026. Are there any objections? Again, if there are, please put them in the chat box. Okay, so I think again, there's no objections. So then I want I need somebody to propose and somebody to second the nomination of Campbell & Co. So if somebody could propose, please. Thank you, Dr. Lauren. And somebody to second. Tammy, thank you very much. Great, thank you. So that's me done for the evening, and thank goodness the lamb wasn't too noisy. So over to you, Karen.
Thank you so much, Tanya. And I hope the lamb recovers. Yeah, I hope he recovers.
Sorry, Karen.
Yes.
We have just one question from the Tankwa video from sorry, I have to find it. Ali, she said the donkeys look very fat, and what are they fed? So there's very little grazing on the Tankwa, as I'm sure you've seen by the video, but there is farms along the river that they can go and buy lucerne from, and they will also get the farmers will buy food from the co-ops when they go into Ceres or to Calvinia. But there's also a tree there called the mesquite tree, and it's got pods on it, which we call pula, which they eat. So they really eat a lot of stuff off the land, which they're used to. So very good condition. We've never seen a thin donkey in the Tankwa.
Thank goodness. Thanks, Megan. Next on our agenda is Siyabonga's Infanta's story. And I actually put this video together because I became so incredibly involved with his story and what he did for Carthorse, and it was great working with him and becoming his manager and mentor. So around February, March last year, on a very hot day, we had just missed the ice cream truck going up Beaufort Circle. Sia said not to worry and promptly ran after it, all the way up the road, and brought it back to us. We could not believe how fast he was. Sia then started running to work and back home again in May, not just to work, but to save money on taxi fare so he could support his siblings. What originated from a need soon turned into a purpose. One day, Megan White asked Sia if he would run the comrades for the Cart Horse Protection Association, and he did not hesitate to say yes. Sia had never run a race, never run a marathon, never run an ultramarathon. Like I said, on a personal note, learning all the ins and outs of getting him registered, about seedings, time trials. It was a very, very unique experience. But Sia has raised over 100,000 Rand for the horses. He makes comfortable in their work for fitting proper harnesses, and this is his story. Thanks, Kevin. Bye, Angel. Have a good one. There he goes.
Well done! Oh my goodness, how are you feeling? I'm feeling okay. Oh, we're so proud of you. Yeah, I'm so proud of myself also. I planned to finish it in 8 hours, but I finished it in 7:28. Oh, awesome! You did an amazing job.
All the classes welcoming. Oh my goodness, I hope you enjoyed that video as much as I put it together for Sia, the legend. And next up is our general manager, Penny Lancaster, which is going to be also doing an amazing presentation for us. Over to you, Penny.
Wow, Karen, that's quite something to follow. That's an absolutely gorgeous video. Thank you for that. Good evening, everyone. Being here this evening, I feel deeply grateful for the people, the partnerships, and most of all, for the heart that keeps Cart Horse going. This year, more than any other, has reminded me of the true meaning of protection, not just as a word, but as a calling. In equine welfare, protection means more than shelter or medicine. It means being present. It means preventing suffering before it happens. It means stepping in when others step back. And it means standing between a vulnerable animal and a world that too often forgets its responsibility. Sorry, I'm going to just stop there and ask Kevin to play my video. Sorry, everybody. Every year without fail. All right, I'm going to just carry on. At Carthorse, protection takes many forms. It's in the early morning work of our equine welfare practitioners, who are the lifeblood of our work on the ground, as they walk into the stables, kneel beside an injured animal, and offer help without judgment. It was in Sep's quiet determination, and still is in Jalisa's tireless effort. It's in every microchip implanted, every hoof trimmed, and every conversation with an owner who wants to do better. Protection lives in knowledge. In the training sessions Diana led this year for SAPS officers, students, inspectors, and community watch members, she equips others to see what we see and to act. Diana gave her all, not just to the horses, but to every person she trained and mentored. It lives in people like Dwayne, whose presence in the field brings a calm authority and connection. We were fortunate to welcome him to the team in August, and his law enforcement background brought steady leadership to the field. Alongside Ashley, who trains and mentors his farrier team, Dwayne now co-leads our permit workshops. It's in Ashley, Marlon, Saeed, and Andile, who protect working horses' feet. It's in Ashley's guidance of our farrier team, who are always ready to support. It's in the care and patience that our team at the Recovery and Rehabilitation Centre pour into each horse. George for his consistent gentleness, Herbert for his equine instincts, Donix for the way he talks and sings to the horses, Emmanuel for his willingness to do whatever is asked of him, and now Regine, who joined us in September with her grace and quiet strength. Their compassion shines through in everything they do. Together, their hands raised Roman, an orphan foal, from helplessness to hope. It is also in the systems we strengthen, admin support by Vincent, donor trust nurtured by Karen, who ensured our social media remained current and our 2025 calendar campaign was a success, and life-saving funds secured by Megan, including from the National Lotteries Commission, keeping our doors open and our horses fed. It's in repaired harnesses by Sia and Tony, in oat hay delivered during a lean month. It's in Sia's marathon fundraising efforts that inspired us all. In a sector-wide symposium where new paths are forged, the symposium series, initiated by Alderman J.P. Smith and supported by World Horse Welfare, helps us build bridges across the sector, one honest conversation at a time. Even in our farewells to Sep, Carl, Howard, and in memory of Melanie, there is protection, because their work laid foundations, their impact lives on. As threats grow, gang violence, limited enforcement, scarce resources, we respond with unity, strategy, and heart, because protection is not passive, it demands action. To our management committee, to our extraordinary staff, and to every donor who said, yes, I will help, you are the protectors. You have shown up, not just for the horses, but for justice, for compassion, for dignity. To every name I've just mentioned, and to those who support us quietly from behind the scenes, including members of the public who are our eyes on the road and calling concerns, you are the soul of Carthorse. You make the difference. This work is hard, but it is full of purpose and full of love. I couldn't be prouder to walk this road with all of you. Together, we don't just respond to suffering, we prevent it. We don't just rescue, we protect. And that changes everything. Thank you. My video is going to continue a little bit more, and you would have seen probably more of the office cats than you care to, but they feature very highly in our day-to-day. Are there any questions for me while we watch the last tail end of the videos? Okay, there's nothing in the chat that I can see. So Karen, it's back over to you.
Thank you, Penny. Oh, wow. What an awesome collaboration of videos of the wonderful team that we work with and obviously our cats that we so dearly love, that walked into our lives and knew where to come and got the love and attention that they absolutely deserve. Next up, the past year, Card Horse Protection Association has been galloping forward, rescuing. Sorry,
Karen?
Megan?
There's a question in the chat.
Oh, sorry, I didn't see that.
So Ailey's asked, have all the staff working with the horses been trained by CHPA?
Hi. No, if you're talking about well, yeah, I suppose yes, training on the job. I'm not sure if you're referring to the EWP specifically. So they have been through the training. Jolise and Sep and Melanie, Diana's trained them all, and some of us over and above that, myself and Dwayne, will be in September trained on the Animals Protection Act. So that is the formal training we've had, but the rest of us have learned on the job. As we've gone along, we train each other. I hope that answers your question, Eileen.
Thank you, Penny. So next up is, I actually haven't watched it because I actually waited for tonight. Megan put it together on what we've actually been doing, like I mentioned earlier on, is rescuing, protecting, educating, changing lives one cart horse at a time. It's been a year of challenges, triumphs, and incredible teamwork between our staff, supporters, and the communities that we serve. We're proud to share these highlights with you, and it's a glimpse into the difference that you as our supporters make. Thanks, Kevin. You can play the video.
I close my eyes and I can see a world that's waiting up for me that I call my own. Through the dark, through the dawn, through where no one's been before, but it feels like home. They can say it all sounds crazy. They can say I've lost my mind. I don't care if they call me crazy. We can live in the world that we design. Every night I lie in bed, the brightest colors fill my head, a million dreams that keep me awake. I think of what the world could be, a vision of the one I see, a million dreams is all it's gonna take. A million dreams for the world we're gonna make. However big, however small, let me be part of it all. Share your dreams with me. We may be right, we may be wrong, but I wanna bring you along to a world I see, to a world we close our eyes to see, we close our eyes to see. Every night I lie in bed, the brightest colors fill my head, a million dreams are keeping me awake. Oh, it's gonna take a million dreams for the world we're gonna make. For the world we're gonna make.
Oh my goodness. I loved it. Megan was amazing. I'm glad I left it to last to actually watch. Folks, that is what we've done over the last year. Are there any questions for our field staff? Diana, Ashley, Jolise, and Dwayne are available for any questions that you have. Please put them in the chat room so we can answer any questions that you want to ask them. They are available. This is your time. They're basically out there doing all the hard work. So please, if there are any questions, I'm just looking in the chat room.
Can I ask a question?
Of course you can, Mrs. Chairman.
Good save, Karen. To the field team, indeed, if they were to, because again, Diana, Jalise, you all face massive issues out there. If you were to give an insight into, for the next 6 months to a year, what is one of your priorities that is key in some of the work you're doing?
Diana, Ashley, Jalise, Dwayne.
I don't want to put anybody on the spot, but I just thought.
Diana, you need to unmute, Angel.
Sorry, can you hear me?
Yes.
You can.
Yeah, thanks for putting us on the spot, Mpo. That was definitely, it's not an easy question. I would say my insight is the health of the horse and the well-being of the horse itself. So if we can get the education out there for especially the younger generation, if we can get that, the empathy out there for the care of the horse, if it's on the road or in the stable, yeah, just getting the health of the horses themselves, that will be a great insight for me if that could happen in the next 6 months.
If I might add to what Jalise is saying, Chairperson, Chair Lady, I don't know if you can remember, a couple of years back, you asked me if a genie asked us now what we want. And I said at the time that all the children should be in school, and everybody, I think, didn't realize that I actually understood your question, but I meant what I said at the time. Me and Jalisi spoke earlier on. There's a, if the genie wishes to us again, we would really like a second wish. Onto that, we would like more parent visibility. Our biggest problem now, like Jalisi said, and I don't know whether Dwayne and Ashley feels the same, is exactly that the younger generation that's coming through, 12-year-old that's on the cart horses, and if they're not in the cart horses, they're in gangs, but they're definitely not in school, and it's really, really disturbing for us, and it's giving us a hell of a problem currently on the road. It's very tough. I don't know what Dwayne, what you and Ashley think.
Yes, Diana, most definitely. Even here at the clinics, we struggle to get the kids to stay on the carts, so they're all over, and we just scared that they might get hurt when horses start a fight or something. So, but like you said, most of the drivers and kids are working with horses and fiddling with horses. They're all over. So it's become a huge problem for us. Even when we go on the roads, we see youngsters with horses and carts. And I just feel that the elderly people or even the parents must do something about it. You see, so yeah.
Does it make sense, Mpo? Does it answer your question?
Perfect answer. Thank you, team. And I think then I would be cheeky and say if anybody has a connection to Department of Education and knows of funding programs that can go towards the younger generation, please talk to us, because it's about knowing what we need, right? And then getting what we can from those that have the capacity, and without having to make them afraid of the horse angle. We talk about education and the youth and bringing up communities to a level of animal understanding that serves the community as a whole. My spiel over. Thank you, team. Thank you, everyone.
We've got some questions in the chat. So Jax is asking, what are we needing to focus on, need help with, and how can we support, give help?
Jax, which one do you want us to answer first? Look, obviously education, or not education. Education is important. Education with regards to the animals, to the horse, it's unbelievably important. But you know, it's very tough to educate a child, or to try and make a child understand that a horse has feelings if he's probably addicted to cocaine. Cocaine is these days the in drug, the favorite drug that they use. It's very tough for a child that's never been to school, or only has been to school till the age of 6, 7, 8, 9, to make him understand that it's very unhealthy to use drugs, and it's better for him to stay in school. And um, so that's the battle that I think our South African governments, it is like Pooh said, the Department of Education, the children, not them going to school, but the fact that they move towards the horses, because our horse owners are quite kind owners in a way. Megan is going to show a Pegasus video now of 10 young men. And believe it or not, after those 10 young men, they are looking after 23 youngs who don't know where their parents are, or doesn't want to stay with their parents. If their parents are home, the parents are not home. They are under the influence of something. And then I just think we need a lot of belief and a lot of trust that we can continue, and we should not stop. We cannot afford to stop, Jakes.
Can I say something?
Please.
So I think that the social problems that we experience with the cart horse owners and the people in the industry, it's something that's completely out of our. We don't have the skills to deal with that. But we do have land at the back of our clinic site, where our hugest dream is to develop that into a community, sort of a community center, where we can invite other human NGOs to come in and get involved with those problems. We look after the horses, and we're good at that, but so that's where we would love to be able to. It costs a lot of money to develop that land, a lot of infrastructure, a lot of staff capacity. So it's a big dream of all of us to actually be able to develop that land for the good of the community and our karting community. So that would be an amazing. If somebody could make that dream come true, it would be amazing. So we've got another question here from Ali. She says, how uncontrolled is the breeding of the horses on the Cape Flats?
Ashley, William, neem?
Nowadays, what the guys do
Gilman?
is they would breed with the horses to keep the mare, because the foal would be obviously be registered with the association, and they can buy feed or get just. Can you hear me? Hello?
Yeah. Yeah. Look.
Okay.
We can hear you.
Yes. What the guys do, when they normally have a registered mare, they would obviously let the mare get covered, and then the foal obviously will be then registered with us, and they can get access to services and buy feed and get us to get to the stable yard and trim the horses. But before, there was more horses on the fields, but there are not so much now. Open fields where people let their stallions roaming loose and all that stuff. So I don't think that the breeding is so uncontrolled. There are less mares actually get pregnant now. It used to be years before. So, and also being saying that is that We also have this program where we go out and speak to the owners if they want perhaps the stallions be gelded for free, and then if they want to, they can bring these stallions and we will geld them for free.
Yeah, Dr. Lauren, you've got a booking next week, Tuesday, 10 o'clock for 2.
Sorry, there's another question. When last was Carte Horse on Carte Blanche? So I can answer that. It was a very, very, very long time ago. Yeah. We haven't actually approached them to do any stories on us for a long time. So maybe it's something we should do.
Folks, are there any more questions? Thank you, field team. You've been great answering the questions. And the last thing on our agenda is the amazing, incredible Pegasus project that Carthorse has done, and Megan will explain who has joined and made this all possible. Thanks, Megan.
Okay, thank you, Karen. I'm going to ask that they switch my camera off so you don't have my face in the and that you can focus on the slides as well as the content of the presentation, because that's quite important. So last year's AGM, whoever attended, we all gave you a small glimpse into the Pegasus Enrichment Program, which we launched in May with the support of our partners, the ARC Foundation Trust and World Horse Welfare. So tonight, we'd like to take you along with us through some of the moments we shared with the very first group of participants, the stories they told, the conversations that unfolded, and the space we created together. Pegasus isn't about teaching, it's about connection. It gives carters owners and drivers a chance to really think about the relationship with their horses, not just as working animals, but as living, feeling beings with emotions, memories, and needs. What we saw during the program wasn't something you could measure in numbers. It showed up in body language, in quiet moments, and in the way people started to speak and listen differently. From the moment the 10 participants walked in, there was a real sense of excitement and eagerness to be part of something meaningful. As they put on their branded clothing and opened their welcome packs, you could see how proud they were and how they felt. For many, this was a rare moment of being acknowledged, and they embraced it fully. Gianna set the tone for the entire program on the first day, creating a safe, welcoming space where everyone felt seen and heard. Receiving the learning materials was another significant moment. It gave them a sense of achievement and ownership. We also recognized the financial sacrifice of attending and provided a daily stipend which they could save in their Pegasus branded wallets or take home to support their family. The shared meal was a very important part of each day, not just for nourishment, but for connection. Sitting together to eat created a feeling of community and dignity. One participant said, "It feels like I'm sitting in a restaurant." Something as simple as a hot meal reminded us just how powerful care and respect can be. It was a strong, heartfelt start, not just to the training program, but a journey that placed value on every individual in the room. The first week set the tone with real, honest conversations. People opened up, sharing deeply personal stories about their horses, their struggles, and what shapes their identity. Some of the older participants naturally stepped into mentor roles, bringing calm and inspiration to the group. Conversations around tough topics like abuse, neglect, and the life on the road came up. Stories of racism, false accusations, and violence were shared with courage and honesty. The group also reflected on challenges in the scrap trade and worries about young people left to figure things out on their own. As the week went on, trust started to build, people began talking not just about their horses, but about their lives, offering heartfelt thanks for the support they've received. What really stood out was how important it is to listen without judgment and to create spaces where people feel safe, heard, and valued. Throughout the week, there were plenty of chances for self-reflection. Many spoke proudly about how far they'd come, even sharing their progress with family and community members. A strong sense of cultural pride came through when the group explored Cape Town's cart horse history. One participant even discovered a personal connection to the Ockets family. Horses were seen not just as workers, but as part of the family, lifesavers during tough times like COVID, which deepened appreciation for our support. The group didn't shy away from tough topics either. Honest, judgment-free conversations opened up about drug use, violence, and conflict, showing a willingness to face real challenges together. A powerful moment came when they spoke about their care for 23 homeless children who help with the horses, highlighting a deep sense of community and shared responsibility. There was a real creativity too, as they rolled up their sleeves to design practical solutions for stable improvements. Throughout the sessions, knowledge of horse care grew stronger, especially around when and why a horse should retire. And perhaps most meaningfully, the group's relationship with cart horse shifted from frustration to understanding and respect as they started to see the organization's role in a new light. The group started the week with an important conversation about quality feed, which opened their eyes to how nutrition directly impacts horse health, especially risks like colic. They then moved on to discuss roles and responsibilities of owners and drivers, working together to develop practical guidelines that could improve care and safety on the road. When faced with images of abuse, their immediate concern was for the horse's suffering, showing a deepening sense of empathy and understanding. A visit from Ashley Dillman added a hands-on learning experience as he demonstrated how tar roads affect hooves and limbs, guiding the group through a detailed leg dissection that made the anatomy real and relevant. The conversation also turned to everyday habits like feeding, handling, and smoking near stables, and how these small actions can have lasting effects on the well-being of their horses. Safety on the road was a recurring theme, sparking creative ideas such as using red flags to signal turns, a simple solution the group is eager to try out. By the end of the week, it was clear that participants weren't just absorbing information, they were taking ownership, connecting better horse care with a sense of responsibility, pride, and their role in the community. In the final week of training, participants showed pride in their progress by naming their stables, symbols of identity and ownership. The focus was firmly on improving horse welfare. Plans were drafted to upgrade the stables. They learned to spot issues and were committed to better care through small, achievable steps. They created stable checklists and took part in a powerful team project, restoring a broken cart of a fellow owner. The work was hands-on and heart-driven, proving that safe carts mean safer, healthier horses. They also shaped the Pegasus Pledge, a commitment to treat horses with respect, work with care, and help others on the road. By the end of the week, they weren't just thinking differently, they were working differently. In October, the group came back together for a 2-day follow-up of reflection, connection, and fun. On the first day, they spoke openly about their life since the program. Some had faced serious challenges, but the commitment to change was clear. There was honest talk about tough issues like drug use and reckless driving, and the groups even suggested running training for other drivers in the communities. The second day was all about fun and bonding. For most, it was the first time 10-pin bowling at Grand West, and they loved it. There was a lot of laughter, good food, and sense of pride in representing the program. An elderly man even stopped to compliment the group. A simple day out turned into something really special. The Pegasus graduation ceremony, held on the 6th of December at Mystico Equestrian Centre, marked the powerful conclusion of weeks of dedication and hard work. Every participant attended with pride and were joined by family and supporters. Highlights included a behind-the-scenes tour of the Lipizzaner stables and a glimpse of the riders in action, and a celebratory lunch shared by all. Certificates were awarded in recognition of the commitment, growth, and learning each participant had shown. Guest speaker Ashwin Reynolds, owner of legendary Comedy Dung, delivered an inspiring address, sharing his journey and reminding the group of power of belief, effort, and resilience. The day was true celebration, not just of what was learned, but of who the participants had become. Now that we have taken you through a few highlights of the Pegasus Enrichment Program, we invite you to think back to where this all started, with hope and the belief that real change begins when we can make time, build trust, and truly listen. Thank you. I don't know if anybody's got any questions about the Pegasus program. Nothing.
Megan, hi. Sorry, I'm coming in like this. I wonder if Wendy can give us some of those hilarious moments, comments that they've made while we were in the room. You know, when there was the in between chats. Wendy, I don't know if you can hear me. Some of the hilarious gezegdes van this one.
Okay. Diana, I
Okay.
knew I have got a few written down here if you want me to share, but I
Yeah,
think you
please
need to
do.
give it a bit of context.
So, well,
So when we were talking about how horses communicate, and one of the participants said, "I tell my horse everything." So it shows quite a connection. Another one when they were talking about the challenges of this was Toodles of being on the road. He said he was beaten with a pipe till his face looked like a vetkoek.
That's right. Shame, yeah.
So a lot of them
once.
also, yeah, during that time as well, around working on the road, the question that one of the participants asked was, what does the word Hottentot mean?
No, yeah, the other word, yeah.
The other one was, my horse is my breadwinner. We must look after our horses from kop tot klou. I can't remember what this was for, Diana. The wind blows the information from the end into our ears. I don't know how that came
That
about.
was Shannon Bailey. He actually said another one. We were talking. I don't really want to start my video, but anyway, we had the conversation of in the class of all the difficulties and picking wrong friends, etc. And it came out that they figure that the more money they have, the more friends they have, because then there's more drinks and there's more dacha and there's whatever. So while we were talking, Shannon Bailey said that he picks his friends and there are T's and C's, terms and conditions for that friendship. And it's him that said that doesn't matter where it happens, the wind blows it down from the N1 to him. Yeah.
And then another participant said, I can't talk to a bakkie, because there was the question asked, why do you have a
Yes.
horse and not use a bakkie? And he said, I can't talk to a bakkie. Ek is 'n man van die pad. And then there was a conversation around how they lived and their support structures and things like that. And one guy said, ek bly in 'n hokkie. And another participant said, dis nie 'n hokkie nie, dis jou huis.
Dis jou huis. That's
So no
right,
matter
yeah.
how small and how doesn't matter. It's still your home, which was quite telling. And then obviously the one that you said, Diana, you have to have T's and C's with your friends. So yeah, terms and conditions. So very interesting, some of the feedback.
You know, I don't know if I'm allowed to share this with you. One of the participants, the toy, one of his mares got sick. I think it was in the beginning of the year, end of last year, and we took it to Blue Cross. But it's a difficult family, a really difficult family. We have a history with the father and the mother, and we in the past confiscated all their horses. So Carters were not very good friends, and we picked him to come be part of their son to be part of the program. And he's got two brothers. The young Latoy that was on the program, he's got two brothers. The one has been, I think, in jail for raping. He was about 18, 19, raping a young girl, and the other brother is a complete drug addict, and that is his mom's general income for the house. She's selling drugs, and he's working with his horse. And then his horse the family's horse got sick with the name of Lorna, and the horse was taken to Blue Cross. And at the same time the horse was taken at Blue Cross, she had a foaled foot about 8-9 months, and the foal stood into a piece of glass. And Dwayne first went there, and I went there the next day. And it didn't really, the prognosis wasn't very good, and Dr. Trichard didn't really have much hope for her. And when I got there, I spoke to him and I said to him, "It's really not going well with your son, with your horse. If we have to, we will have to put her down." And the two other brothers was absolute adamant that Carters will not put their horse down. They know how to fix the horse. And he's the youngest of the three of them, and he just literally put his foot down and he said, "If the horse suffers, the horse shall be put down." And what was quite remarkable is how they bended away for his knowledge. It was like they backed off of what he knew. That was quite remarkable. Really remarkable.
Thank you, Diana and Megan. That was an amazing presentation, and what we're actually doing out there in the world of the youth, educating, inspiring, teaching them that horses have feelings. They do hurt. They're big, but I'm trying to make people understand that just because they're big, that they don't hurt. Sorry, we clearly a very emotional bunch. We are so passionate about what we do, and I just want to thank each and every one of you for joining us tonight. And we seriously wouldn't be here without you, because we honestly do this together. Without your donations, without your support, we can't go out there and do what we do. So thanks for joining us tonight. And as you can see, each and every one of us at Carthorse, from the committee to our general manager, to the field staff, to us fundraisers, we are committed 100% every single day to look after these working cart horses and to make their lives easier. If you have any questions, I'll put it in the chat, please. If you think afterwards, please email me at Karin, Karin, at carthorse.org.za. And we gladly answer any questions you have about anything that you want to ask after the session. And on that note, thank you so much for joining us. We hope you enjoyed this bumper issue, and thank you. Good night. Go well. Take care.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Bye-bye.
everyone. Bye-bye.
Bye, guys.
Well done.
Bye. Thanks for joining us.
Bye.
Bye.
Not everybody.
Bye. Bye.